July 20th, 1969, the day humanity left its mark on the sands of the cosmos by setting foot on the moon, was truly a remarkable moment, adored by people around the world. And as Neil Armstrong said, it was one small step for man and one giant leap for mankind. But there was more to this leap and the man who took it than most people realized. In fact, Neil Armstrong kept several secrets until his death. And now, 11 years after his death, his family has revealed it. It turns out there was a lot more to this man than humanity knew. What were the secrets that Neil Armstrong kept until his death? And what new revelation has his family brought to light? Neil Armstrong is a name that will go down in the history of space exploration. His fame stems from his iconic steps on the moon, an achievement that made him an admired hero around the world. However, behind this achievement there is sacrifice and effort. Being an astronaut is not just about dressing up in a spacesuit and exploring planets. Neil Armstrong faced enormous challenges as he ventured into unknown terrain. He was the first to set foot on the moon, not knowing what to expect. He underwent rigorous training to prepare his mind, body, and equipment for the trip. For 3 years, he prepared for conditions on the moon, which include near-zero gravity. He learned to move in zero-gravity environments and eat properly to keep his weight under control and his mobility on the moon. Armstrong and his partner Buzz Aldrin also trained to live on special foods on their trip to the moon. The preparation was crucial to the success of the mission and to ensure the safety of the astronauts in an unknown and potentially dangerous environment. Armstrong trained intensively for the lunar mission. In addition to controlling his diet and simulating exercises, he learned survival techniques in various environments such as deserts and jungles. This strengthened his resilience and survival skills in case of unforeseen events on the moon. He practiced collecting rock and soil samples vital to the mission. He learned photography, sample mapping and analysis, and how to operate scientific instruments. He conducted tests in places like the Grand Canyon and Nevada. On July 20th, 1969, after final preparations and a light meal, Armstrong and Aldrin took off for the moon in the Apollo 11 spacecraft. The journey was smooth until the moment of landing. Unlike remote probes, Apollo 11 was a manned spacecraft designed for off-Earth work. On the lunar landing, the computer presented an error, code 1202, causing concern at NASA. NASA officials and mission control reviewed logs to understand the error code and give instructions to the pilots. Although the astronauts trained for surprises, experiencing them on the mission was terrifying. The tension in Armstrong's voice was palpable. They were 400,000 kilometers from Earth, with no possibility of rescue. NASA would guide men in this situation. Communication and computer failed, worsening the emergency. The crisis began with the separation of modules. Apollo 11 had 3 parts: command module, accommodation, service module, propulsion and supplies, and lunar module, landing, called the Eagle. A third astronaut, Michael Collins, piloted the command module, while Armstrong and Aldrin explored the moon. Collins was orbiting the moon and the 3 returned to Earth together. Earlier, Armstrong and Aldrin faced the challenge of landing the lunar module. Aldrin attempted to adjust antennas to improve communication, to no avail. Mission Control also struggled to re-establish the connection. Gene Kranz, flight director, faced a difficult decision: cancel the mission or continue. The 1202 code indicated an overload in the module. They chose to continue, since canceling was also dangerous. On the moon, Armstrong and Aldrin landed manually due to computer problems. The landing location was incorrect due to lunar gravity and separation from the command module. Armstrong found a suitable landing spot after dealing with rough terrain. The landing was rough and different from the simulation. Mission Control believed the astronauts were following their planned trajectory to land on the moon, but were unaware that Armstrong and Aldrin had strayed, struggling to land on low fuel. Armstrong leaped in faith and landed with 60 seconds to spare. He sent a landing message to the base. This lunar journey is little known to the public. During the moon landing, Armstrong saw what he thought were alien craft and may have sent a coded message to NASA. Aldrin also cited a UFO, but there was no shared evidence. Armstrong and Aldrin discussed these encounters during the moonwalks in initial interviews, but later kept silent or denied the comments in subsequent interviews. This has given rise to conspiracy theories about a possible alien encounter. On space missions past the moon, some astronauts have described seeing strange objects that don't fit in with the lunar environment. There is an intriguing theory that on one of these missions, possibly Apollo 17 or Apollo 20, astronauts found a 1.5 million-year-old alien spacecraft and remains of alien bodies, including that of a female alien. Some sources suggest that this occurred during the Apollo 17 mission, while others suggest that it was on a joint US-Soviet mission, which was inspired by unusual photos taken by Armstrong and Aldrin. The Apollo 15 mission also sparked speculation after astronauts captured a suspicious object on the far side of the moon, fueling the idea of a secret mission, Apollo 20. Supposedly, the body of a female alien was found on the craft, possibly the ship pilot. Although these claims lack official confirmation from NASA, controversy lingers over the presence of aliens on the moon, with the space agency maintaining that the samples collected by Neil and Aldrin contain no evidence of alien life. Neil Armstrong and his partner explored the lunar surface for a significant amount of time, collecting samples and taking photos, as instructed. The samples were stored in sealed containers and brought back to the spacecraft for study in laboratories. In addition, they installed devices on the moon to monitor vibrations, which revealed that the moon is an active body. They put up a plaque commemorating their arrival and their wish for peace on the moon. The exploration mission had time limits due to uncertainty about the resistance of spacesuits to extreme lunar conditions. Despite collecting around 50 pounds of rock samples and placing the United States flag on the moon, controversy arose over whether it flew without wind. NASA explained that lunar vibrations caused the movement. Although we don't know if Armstrong hid information about aliens, another secret was revealed after his death, when his wife shared a personal discovery. Carol Armstrong, the wife of Neil Armstrong, made an unexpected discovery after his passing. She found a hidden storage bag in her closet. The white bag contained various items related to the Apollo spacecraft, including Armstrong's waist strap, utility tools, emergency keys, and his data camera. Despite having said that she was just trash that she wanted to take back, Armstrong never revealed this secret to anyone for over 40 years. Some wonder if she hid more details, like his death in 2012, as she did with his space mission. Meanwhile, his partner Buzz Aldrin is still alive,